You compete against one another, but at the same time, you're one big family.
A baseball team was almost stuck on the side of the road.
After passengers on the bus kicked their driver off the bus for suspicion of drinking behind the wheel. And good evening, I'm Ryan Houston.
And I'm Christy Etheridge. Thanks for joining us tonight. A busy night for law enforcement on both sides of the river.
We start on the South Carolina side of the river, where officers say shots were fired after a chase that started in North Augusta. The chase ended in Edgeville after what should have been a possible DUI stop. South Carolina Highway Patrol is looking into the case because of the amount of the wrecks on the way to Rose Drive. SLED was also called in, which is a standard protocol in an officer-involved shooting. At this point, we still don't know who pulled the trigger. We will bring you the latest information on our website, WRDW.com.
And deputies say 2 men tried to rob the Kentucky Fried Chicken on Windsor Spring Road tonight. They say a male clerk was shot in the leg and sent to the hospital around 8:20 and should be okay. The 2 suspects ran off with some cash, but if you know anything about the incident, contact the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
And we've had a really nice day in weather today, but Tuesday, Old Man Winter could be making his way back, right?
Yeah, he's not knocking on the door, Ryan. He's going to be barging right back, and it looks like exactly what you're wanting. I know, you don't have to tell me, but because of that winter storm watch we have in effect from basically tomorrow night until Wednesday morning, we have these blue shaded areas right here through Jefferson County all the way up through Glasscock, Wilkes County off toward the west. Likely going to be extended to the north and also eastern portions like Columbia County, Richmond County, also McCormick County to Edgefield, Aiken, and even Saluda as well. So those counties likely will be included soon, probably tomorrow, as we approach that the hour on Tuesday where things will start to pick up and maybe start to see a little bit of freezing rain, sleet, and also possibly maybe a flurry or two in the northern part of the CSRA. We'll get to that in about 10 minutes though. Satellite radar combination for now, keeping us pretty much dry and just a few clouds here and there, so pretty much clear through the evening tonight for this time at this point in time. 41 degrees for Augusta Regional, 45 for Barnwell, and 47 at Sylvania. Louisville checking in at 48 degrees at this moment. Now tomorrow morning, we're going to be, let's start off about the mid-30s, upper 30s, 38 degrees, so not too bad. Mostly cloudy skies, but as the day progresses, the clouds will build, and as they build, we'll see cloudy skies by 5 p.m., 60 degrees. So really you're thinking not too bad of a day. Well, on the doorstep, once again, Old Man Winter waiting to bring us a little bit of wintry mix. All details on that coming up in about 10 minutes, Ryan.
Thanks for that, Matt. The #1 college baseball team in the nation had a bumpy ride trying to get to their final game at USC Aiken. It was all about concerns of their bus driver. They called him a cab and sent him to a local hotel. As News 12's Julie Calhoun reports, they never heard from him again.
That's right, Ryan. They even had to have another team's bus driver come to pick them up so they could make it to the mound. Around 9 this morning, Mount Olive bus driver Daniel Barrow came to the rescue, but not for his own team. Tampa University's baseball team stranded with no bus driver and just hours before they're supposed to take the mound.
Looked for them, we found them on the side of the road, and I pulled behind the other bus and helped load them up and got them to the stadium.
Passengers believe Tampa University's bus driver was intoxicated this morning. They say the coach convinced the driver to pull over, called him a cab, taking him to a local hotel.
That there was a police officer talking to the coaches there as we pulled up.
Players, coaches, and other passengers may have been at risk. As a parent of a former USC Aiken baseball player, Rich Carmen says this situation is concerning.
You know, you kind of have to entrust them to the care of the university and the athletic department, that and the team and coaches. You know, you just have to pray that somebody's looking out for them in their best interest.
Carmen believes the Tampa coaches handled it well and is just glad no one was hurt, but he hopes these charter companies step it up.
Made better choices as to the employees that they hire to entrust with these charter bus trips.
Barrow says he was happy to help and knows that the situation was reversed, Tampa would lend a helping hand too.
You compete against one another, but at the same time you're one big family. You're doing the same sport that you love.
Police say since the bus driver checked out of his hotel and is unreachable, both law enforcement and Tampa coaches can't get in touch with him. Police also say since they called him a cab before law enforcement, all criminal charges have gone out the window.
The main question here, Julie, please tell me that Tampa at least won the game.
Yes, Ryan. Nothing could keep them from another win, and they still managed to beat Shepherd University.
Thanks for that.
The sheriff's office says a man is in the hospital and another man's in jail after an argument escalated to a shooting. The call started out on Vera Drive to locate an injured person. Deputies say 30-year-old Roger Tyler was shot in the back. He was sent to the hospital and should be okay. Investigators say they've arrested 18-year-old Dominique Cody for aggravated assault and possession of a firearm after an altercation. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is in the national spotlight. The show Cops aired its first of at least 3 episodes filmed in Augusta last night.
News 12's George Lopez spoke with the deputy who was on the show and some who say there's much more to their neighborhood than what we saw on TV.
Neighbors say while there may be a drug problem in the area known as the Hill, there are also hard-working families, and Deputy Mike Swint, who was on Cops, agrees. Saturday, the nation got to see the Richmond County Sheriff's Office through the lens of the show Cops.
I've been doing it now for 10 years, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Deputy Mike Swint is a part of the crime suppression team for the county and says being a part of a TV show he's watched is pretty cool.
It was exciting. Not many people can say they've been on Cops.
The Cops crew filmed for 8 weeks but only aired a 6-minute segment. And while the show focuses on cops catching bad guys, Swint says this area known as the Hill isn't just filled with criminals.
There's no area that's all bad. You have some areas that are worse than others and some areas that are better than others.
Javon Armstrong is a part of the Sand Hills Neighborhood Association and says he knows the show Cops is about good versus bad, but he and other members of the community want people to know that there are good people who live here.
This is an area that, yeah, you may be able to pick up a couple of things, but there are people that want to do better, that are looking for opportunities.
Something the Sheriff's Office and Deputy Swint agree with.
This is generally a good area. It's more elderly people that live up around here.
The episode shows Swint chasing after a suspicious man who ran but had no drugs on him. And it was on this side of Porter Street where the chase started, but then it finally ended on the other side of the Ridgewood Place apartment complex. The suspect was taken to jail for an outstanding warrant, but drugs were taken off the street. About $80 worth of crack cocaine was found in bushes. Swint says drug dealers sometimes hide them there, but the most important thing to him is that the right hands found it.
Especially knowing that we found the cocaine that was on the ground, and there are children that live around this area.
There will be at least another 2 episodes, one on February 22nd and another one on March 1st, so be sure to keep an eye out for them and see who makes the cut. The deputy says Washington Road was one of their other crime spots, but he doesn't even know what will air on Cops. He will just have to wait and find out like the rest of us.
Blue lights are seen probably several times a day on Bobby Jones and Mike Paget Highway, but when deputies rolled up on what they thought was a broken down car, instead they found 28-year-old Gerald Clifford fatally shot in the driver's seat Saturday morning. That marks the 3rd homicide of the year. With police activity so early in the morning, it left a lot of people guessing what was going on. And if you know anything about the incident, contact the sheriff's office.
Gun owners in Georgia, you could be allowed to carry guns in churches and bars soon. State lawmakers are also considering a medical marijuana bill for people with certain disorders. They'll start debates on the cannabis bill tomorrow afternoon. But today I sat down with State Representative Wayne Howard, who talked about which bill he's against.
I just don't know if it's the best move to put guns in the hands of administrators and teachers at a school.
State Representative Wayne Howard is talking about House Bill 875. It could allow teachers and administrators to carry a weapon in a school safety zone. The bill also gives bar owners and churches the power to allow guns on the inside of their establishment.
But when we start talking about churches and businesses like that, you know, I don't lean in that direction personally.
Lawmakers could vote on this as early as next week, but tomorrow hearings will start on Haley's Law. It allows doctors to prescribe cannabis oil to treat those with seizures. Do you like the premise or how it sounds?
Initially, when you hear the first word medical marijuana, you say, well, no, I can't do that.
House Bill 885 is receiving support from the Medical Association of Georgia, Children's Health Care of Atlanta, and the Georgia Sheriff's Association. Representative Howard says his mind changed a little after hearing what the marijuana oil did for a little girl who suffers from seizures daily.
Her seizures were reduced, according to the parent, down to 1. In some cases, none a day, 0 a day. I would like to hear from the public. Maybe if you on your Facebook page, if you would allow the public to chime in.
And we did. Amy from Facebook stated, there are young children that it has shown very effective for seizures. Wayne wrote, A doped-up populace is easier for the government to control. More than half of the comments were in support of Haley's law. And it's not too late, so what do you think about legalizing marijuana oil for those with seizures? Head over to WRDW.com and take our web poll. The testimony for and against Haley's law starts tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
From Education Team 12, we're on your side with how you can speak up about Richmond County's right-sizing plan. Earlier this month, the school system released a plan that would involve closing some schools while consolidating others. It's about saving money and making better use of facilities. Excuse me. Monday's meeting is at Butler High School from 6 to 7:30. On Tuesday, the meeting's at Garrett Elementary from 6:30 to 8.
Augusta commissioners will meet tomorrow afternoon for committee meetings. Commissioner Bill Fenoy wants an update on the money spent and needed for the demolition of dilapidated houses in the county. City leaders will also discuss plans for the patch. The First Tee of Augusta will repitch their idea of managing the patch after it was turned down last year. They'll also talk about a stormwater utility fee where the money will be used to update the county's drainage system. And Mother Nature is taking out her wrath on a California house. See why this pretty waterfall is pretty scary.
And be sure to keep up with us even when we aren't on the air. Right now, we're talking about legalizing medical marijuana. Tell us what you think. Just search WRDW News 12.
Well, weather-wise for this week, we'll start it off just warm for your Monday, but then clouds and precip roll in. The temperatures take a plunge, and well, you can do the math. We have a nasty setup on the way. Details after the break. Stay with us.